we'll have that main track fresh and ready for you here tomorrow afternoon. Is that Andy Serling driving that tractor? Wouldn't mind going for a ride on that. Looks fun, but Glenn Kozak and his track maintenance crew do a terrific job when you consider just the sheer amount of dirt, 1.5 miles in circumference, the largest dirt track in all of North America. We are off and running at beautiful Belmont Park. Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore, and this Thursday edition of Belmont Insider. And what a yeoman's operation and job it takes just to groom this place and have it ready for training and racing every day.
Yeah, 1.5 mile main track. You've got 2 turf courses. You've got a pony track. You've got a mile training track. And then he has other facilities like Saratoga and Aqueduct to maintain and contend with as well. Glenn Kozak and his crew do an outstanding job, second to nobody.
We were fast and firm, good mix of races today on the turf and on the dirt. No triple carryover in the pick six. It was hit yesterday, over 600K in the pick six pool.
Wow.
Paid a little over $6,000. We hope you were one of the pick six winners here on Wednesday, a few hours before the Rangers put down the Caps in game number 7 at MSG.
How good was that? I mean, I know this is a racing show, but how good was that?
It was awesome. It was a great playoff series, and we'll get the Tampa Bay Lightning up next at MSG on Preakness Day at 1 p.m. And Saturday, a big day, not only in the NHL, but, of course, thoroughbred racing as the eyes of the racing world tune in to Old Hilltop. It is Preakness 140. 8 3-year-olds entered in the $1.5 million Preakness yesterday, Mig, and Bob Baffert has his 2 aces with inside post, but they both hit the track today to get a little legwork in.
Yeah, I mean, and they're both obviously live horses that both possess speed. And I honestly believe American Pharoah drawing the rail, they need to use his ample speed. He's a horse that possesses speed. Now, he's shown the ability to rate, but that's when he's in the clear. Why would you want to take a chance, especially with firing line drawn outside, of getting back in behind horses? Because you know, as good as Gary Stevens is, he's going to keep you locked in there for as long as he humanly possibly can.
Now, judging from Bob Baffert's quotes post-training today, and they just went an easy jog over the Pimlico main track, it does appear and sound like both American Pharoah and Dortmund have come out in pretty good shape, and they were very eager down there. Is that a good sign going into Saturday's big race?
Well, I think it's a really good sign. You know, and if we think back to horses that had tough races in the Derby who came back with giant performances in the Preakness, I think Funny Side is the one that comes most to mind to me. He was hard-ridden, hard-fought, gutted out the Kentucky Derby, and then he absolutely exploded in the Preakness. Are we going to see that kind of explosion for an American Pharoah? Remains to be seen.
Bob Baffert's been a lucky man. Nobody needs to take up a charity cause for a Hall of Fame trainer and a guy that's racked up victories in multiple Triple Crown races and a nose shy here in '98, sweeping the $5 million bonus and becoming racing's 12th Triple Crown winner with Real Quiet. That being said, and you kind of touched upon the post and the tactics, he didn't have much luck late Wednesday when posts were assigned with American Pharoah on the rail, Dortmund in post number 2. And I'll tell you, you break this race down on paper, both those horses will go from 2 posts that are a combined 1 for 56 in the Preakness over the last 28 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit disconcerting, but I think it almost simplifies things for me. If I'm sitting on American Pharoah and I know the speed he possesses, everybody's got to adjust around me. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to the lead. I'm probably going to float off the rail, and then you guys figure it out. And if somebody goes crazy, then at least you've spread out the field and you've given yourself options. If you leave the gate thinking, I'm going to lay 3rd, you're probably going to be laying 6th, and you're going to be swamped and covered up by horses that have no separation whatsoever. He's got to be aggressive.
This is not the kind of race I want to see if American Pharoah can sit the pocket and take all sorts of dirt, because even in the Arkansas Derby and the Kentucky Derby, for that matter, he was a horse that was able to, at least even though he sat slightly off horses, he was able to get that sort of candy cakewalk trip out in the clear. From the rail, you just don't have that option going in.
Do you really want to find out if you can take kickback in the second jewel of the Triple Crown after having already annexed the first one? I don't think so. I think you want to let his horse use his speed to his best advantage, and that's to go forward leaving the gate.
Regarding new shooters, though, in Preakness 140, maybe this, to be fair, is not a vintage year. There were really no heavy hard hitters that didn't have enough points that were healthy to get into the Kentucky Derby. But one horse, and we'll learn a bit more about him, is Divining Rod, who seems to be on the short list of new faces that have a chance to at least make some noise on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know if he's good enough, but I think out of the new shooters, he's the one I want. I thought his Lexington was very strong. He showed a new dimension rating in the Lexington under Julian Leperoux, who will not be aboard this time. Now he gets Javier Castellano. But I think he's a horse that actually has a lot of forward movement still in him. And I think he's a horse that, if maybe it's not the Preakness, but somewhere this year, he's going to be heard from in big races.
And he's got that Eclipse Award, multiple Eclipse Award winning rider on his back, and Javier Castellano, who caught up with the MIG earlier today.
Javier, you picked up, I believe, a live mount in the Preakness divining rod. You've never sat on him, never worked him, ridden him. What do you have to do to prepare to ride a horse you've never ridden before?
Well, I'm kind of familiar with the horse. I saw a competition the last time in the Lexington. It was a good race. I mean, I watched it replays. I'm being prepared basically all these races. And it's kind of a good horse. It's kind of develop a horse. And the way he does it is phenomenal. I think it's going to be competitive race. But thinking you mentally, we are professional. We've been riding a lot of horses. We know all the horses each other. I think it's not going to be difficult.
Also, you ride a lot of horses on the undercard, and I was looking, like Florida Derby Day, I think you rode 14 horses. Now you ride a lot on the undercard. Constitution is one of your good mounts. You're going to go down there to Pimlico to ride, and you're familiar with him.
Well, Commission is a nice horse. I think I rode last time. He was very competitive. He's kind of game horse. It's going to be a good race. The Pimlico especially, you know, it's very competitive. That horse, he like to be involved in the race, and you have to ride a little bit. It's gonna be a good race.
Well, you say you got to ride him a little bit, and I said Constitution's commissioner, so I'm my mistake. But you ride so many horses. How do you stay so fit?
Well, you know, I think I'm in good shape, and I ride a lot of horses, and I love my sport. I'm an athlete, and I'm into this game a lot. I like to ride a lot of horses, and I'm enjoying my moment.
Well, you're doing a great job. Good luck down there.
Thank you.
Champion rider at the top of his game, very likable, adds a good bit of levity, I think, to the colony both here in New York and down in Florida when he's at Gulfstream Park. And, I mean, Javier, and you touched upon it, not with Constitution, but with Commissioner, he is a guy that will ride 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 a day. And how does he do it? I mean, what does that take?
Well, I think just taking care of himself, and he alluded to it, how fit he is and how much he enjoys it. To do it that hard and ride as many horses as he does, you have to love what you're doing. And he rides a 20 claimer with the same enthusiasm he rides a classic. So you got to appreciate and admire that. And the fact that he takes such good care of himself, that's the only way you can stay mentally and physically fit enough to ride as many horses as he does.
We've got Javier in the gate coming up. In fact, Javier rode quite a bit today. We'll see how he did on the Thursday card. Picture perfect a day here at the Palace. Once again, fast and firm. And we will get you back to race number 4, opening leg of the Pick 6.
And the rough. Monster Mash from the rail. In Trouble is now moving up. In Trouble takes the lead from Monster Mash, and Thomas Hill is racing in third. Jada the Croft is on the outside in fourth, followed by Sandy Slew in fifth. Brickyard Kitten has one horse beaten, and that's Make My Saturday, who trails the field in seventh. A battle up front. Thomas Hill on the outside, and In Trouble down at the rail. Thomas Hill in front by a half length. In Trouble runs in second, with Jade of the Croft sitting just in behind in third. The quarter went in 22 and 3/5 seconds. Sandy Slew is on the outside and moving up from fourth. Monster Mash is fifth. Then it's Brickyard Kitten and Make My Saturday trails. The field is at the top of the stretch. Thomas Hill, Jade of the Croft on the outside. Thomas Hill and Jade of the Croft, and there's nothing between them as they come down for the 8th pole. Sandy Slew is in third with In Trouble, and on the far outside it's Brickyard Kitten. Jay to the Croft comes away with the lead. On the outside, Brickyard Kitten and Sandy Slew. Jay to the Croft by a head. Brickyard Kitten was second, then Sandy Slew and Thomas Hill.
They bet a few in here. In fact, almost all these horses took at least some sort of money in the win pool, and it was a race that played out that way. Just a super tight finish down to the finish line.
Yeah, Jada the Croft got first run on the eventual runner-up, Brickyard Kitten, who ran out of racetrack. And I think that Jada the Croft is a horse that's a little more comfortable going further. So once he had that position, he was going to be a little tough to run down. In spite of the layoff, Backyard Kitten did everything but win off the layoff. Another horse that, again, probably more comfortable going further, but when horses are fresh, they seem to be able to run more competitively in these kind of sprints.
Steve Kosaris, nice training job. 4-year-old debut for this colt by Curlin. Big fans of Steve Kosaris, and he's been a name synonymous with excellence, whether you're talking about being a trainer or even going back to many moons ago when he was a jockey agent.
Yeah, he actually worked for me for a period of time and was a great agent, one of the best agents I ever had. But I think his true niche and his true passion is training racehorses, and he's pretty good at that as well.
Got a decent one by Curlin. Gem of consistency, as is the man sitting next to me. We've got more turf. Johnny I on his game as well with that tight photo, and we'll hear him after this quick break. Nothing says Preakness like a little advance wagering on the Preakness Day program and the second jewel of the Triple Crown on Preakness Eve all day long on track tomorrow at beautiful Belmont Park in the new look Naira.com. Second jewel of the Triple Crown, Mig. What's it like going down to Pimlico and riding? I'm sure the atmosphere in a way is very similar to the Kentucky Derby, but in many ways it's also very different.
It's very different. I really like the way they do the hospitality down there. It's a big party. Everybody has a great time. And I always had so much luck and went down to Maryland to ride live horses, so it was always fun for me going there. And I love how they embrace the history of the sport. They really take a lot of pride in it. And think about it over the years, the amount of really good horses and really good horsemen that have come out of Maryland.
Yeah, quite a few. It's a long, extensive list on both the jockey and trainer side of things, and it's a pretty emotional thing when they sing Maryland, My Maryland as the horses leave the paddock.
Nothing like Sidewalks in New York, though, right?
No, Sidewalks in New York right here, and we hope you'll join us for the 2015 rendition on Belmont Stakes Day, Saturday, June the 6th, as we continue to work on the main track, and we'll get you back to race number 5 as this third Thursday at the meet continues.
And they're off. Caprock Kid and Andalusite from the extreme outside. Go Around is ranging up, and Go Around has the lead now. And they race into the clubhouse turn with Go Around. There goes Honorable Duty now, moving up and into second. On the outside is a Good Response. Down at the rail is Andalusite with Caprock Kid in between horses. Then it's Tweet Kitten, who's racing in 6th. Holy Week on the outside in 7th. Jewish Holiday is 8th. And Olympic Bid trails the field in 9th. The quarter went in 24 and 1/5 seconds. They move for the backstretch. Go Around leads here by a half length over Honorable Duty. It's Go Around 3/4 of a length. Honorable Duty races in second, and Caprock Kid is in third. On the extreme outside is a Good Response. And just in behind the front runners is Andalusite. Andalusite is 5th, but just 2.5 lengths from the lead. Then farther back, it's Tweet Kitten and Jewish Holiday, followed by Olympic Bid and Holy Week. Half mile, 50 and 2. Honorable Duty has now taken over the lead. Go Around comes right back at him on the inside. It's Honorable Duty leading here by a neck. Go Around at the rail is second by a length and a half. Then it's Good Response, Caprock Kid, and Andalusite. Those three just in behind the front two. Tweet Kitten has moved up on the outside. Tweet Kitten is in 6th. Jewish Holiday, followed by Olympic Kid and Holy Week, 3/4 and 1, 14 and 1, and they move for the head of the stretch. On the inside, it's Go Around, and on the outside, it's Honorable Duty. Those two are right together. Andalusite is third. Here's Tweet Kitten kicking in on the extreme outside. Go Around has now gotten clear by a length and a half. Then it's Honorable Duty and Tweet Kitten. Go Around in front. Tweet Kitten into second. It's Go Around to break his maiden going long on the inner turf. Tweet Kitten
Andy Serling, here was your handicapper insider play on last night's show, and right on the money with Go Around. Second time starting colt by Medaglia d'Oro. Went out for the Master in Belmont and was full of run here at 1.25 miles, Mig.
And I'm sure Andy really liked this ride from Jose Lezcano, who took no prisoners from the outside post, went to the lead, got the rail, was aggressive, got his position going forward, and that horse had a lot left in the tank.
Belmont wound up running first and third. Leanna Williford, his longtime and trusted New York assistant, was on hand to saddle this horse, who, if my memory is correct, is a half to Go Between. I forgot to look up Go Between, who did a lot of nice things for both Belmont and breeder Peter Vesco on the racetrack. I think he was by point given. Do you recall that?
That I don't remember. You're the one I defer to when it comes to that stuff, but it would make sense. Go around, go between. They're going to have another brother go inside?
Go inside. Jose Lascano rode the rail to victory and got his position going forward. And Belmont, Leander, and Jose would come back a bit later in the afternoon. A fitting Thursday feature. It is the 8th, a good crew, ready to go 9 furlongs on the inner turf.
And they're off. From the outside, Sycamore Lane and Aptal away well. Now from the inside, Tottenham and Dorset. Black Type is up close as well, along with Iron Power. As they move around the turn, Iron Power goes on with it. Iron Power is now in front. And Dorset is running in second with Tottenham down on the inside in third. And Black Type is fourth, almost 3 to Aptal in fifth. Sycamore Lane is sixth. Arctic North is seventh. And a break of 4 back to Sharp Omar, who trails the field in 8th. They've reached the backstretch, and the quarter was running 24-1. Iron Power, 3/4 of a length. Dorset presses the pace in second with Tottenham down on the inside in third. And Black Type is fourth, about 4 lengths from the lead. Aptal is now moving up from 5th. Then comes Arctic North, followed by Sycamore Lane, and Sharp Omar continues to trail. Iron Power continues to lead, ran a half mile in 49 2/5 seconds. It's Iron Power over Dorset, Tottenham, Aptal, along with Arctic North. As the field goes around the turn, and Black Type is in that second flight there. Farther back, it's Sycamore Lane and Sharp Omar there. Midway around the far turn, 3/4 1 and 1, 13-1. Iron Power with a head in front of Dorset. Here's Arctic North now moving up on the outside. Tottenham is in behind horses as the field comes into the stretch. It is Iron Power. Here's Sycamore Lane kicking in on the outside. Iron Power, Sycamore Lane now to the front. Iron Power digs down at the rail, but Sycamore Lane has the lead in deep stretch, and Sycamore Lane draws away at the end. Iron Power was second. Tottenham finished third.
Very nice effort from Sycamore Lane, who, if a horse ever had a Richard Migliore pedigree, I think this horse would define that. By Artie Schiller, out of a crafty friend there. How do you like that?
That's pretty sharp pickup there. Both horses very good to me. Won multiple stakes on both of them. But nice ride, Sycamore Lane. Great training job. Really finished the deal. They came home in 11 and change, the last 1/8 of a mile. Racehorse time. Horse to keep an eye on out of the race, to me, though, is the 6 Black Type from the Christophe Clement barn. Basically stymied in traffic throughout the stretch. Never really had a fair chance to run. But finished okay when he was clear. Iron Power ran well, too. Barry Schwartz with Christophe Clement as the trainer ran well on the lead, just second best today.
Right, Clement ran second and fourth, and Black Type, the trip horse out of this race, beneath Irod Ortiz. Third win on the afternoon, however, for Jose Lascano, who scored his hat trick, and real fast for a guy who doesn't really have, I'd say, one singular client as his go-to barn. What does he do well on the circuit?
Well, he rides a terrific race, turf or dirt. I think he's even better on the turf, though, and he's just very patient, very position conscious, does a great job. And I think it's a good point you make. It's a definite testimony to how good a job his agent does, because he's alive in just about every barn, and he picks up horses for the right stables without being the go-to guy for any one stable. That's a tough act to kind of juggle, and they do a very good job of it.
And how about that? We've got our go-to man standing by, high up in the booth, 10 stories up on the rooftop of beautiful Belmont. It is John Abrial, the track announcer, from the paddock to the announcer's booth with the calls of 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9.
An active reaction. The field comes into the stretch. Too Hot to Even Speak has built a 5-length lead. Then it's Sir Maurice. Active reaction, GR's Giant, and the Fixer on the outside. The Fixer steadying there inside the 8th pole, but no catching Too Hot to Even Speak. Breaks his maiden here by 8 or 9 lengths. GR's Giant was second. Then the Fixer and Sir Maurice. The quarter, 22-3. The half mile in 45-2. Verismilitude drifting out a bit there in the stretch. Sacred Success in between horses, coming back again. Henry's Gal not giving up down at the rail. Sacred Success, narrow lead. Verismilitude is dropping back. It is Sacred Success with the lead. Then Henry's Gal and Verismilitude. Sacred Success the winner. Henry's Gal second, then Verismilitude and Princess Jenny. Seconds, Cool Charlie is in fifth. Sister Charm is going to need some racing room as the field comes into the stretch. And it is Lady Marlena. Lady Marlena getting away now to lead by 3.5 lengths. Golden Starlet is in second. Then Dorset Damsel and Sister Charm down towards the rail. As they pass the 16th pole, it is Lady Marlena. And she wins here by 6 lengths. Golden Starlet was second. Then Sister Charm, followed by Dorset Damsel, Cool Charlie. Let's let out as they head for home. Conspiracy at the rail. Mataris on the outside. Bad Hombre has moved into third. And Pretoreo is fourth. Crushing has dropped back to last. Conspiracy has now opened up here. Conspiracy's in front by 3 lengths. Bad Hombre moves into second. Then it is Mataris and Pretoreo. Conspiracy wins it by a little more than 2 lengths. Pretoreo up for second. Then Bad Hombre and Mataris. From third, Scout's Honor is 4 wide. Down at the rail is Sweet Lou. The field comes into the stretch. The half was running 44-4. It is Escapist and 3 for me. And on the outside, Scout's Honor. Here's 3 for me and Scout's Honor. Escapist down at the rail. Heat Flash is putting in a late run as they come down for the finish. It's going to be a photo finish. Too tight to call between 3 for me and Scout's Honor. They were noses apart on the line. It's Boss Daddy and Pin and Win. Pin and Win challenged here by Green Diamond Cat on the outside. Pin and Win and Green Diamond Cat. Green Diamond Cat pokes ahead in front. Pin and Win is now back running in second. And there's a 16th to the finish. Green Diamond Cat narrowly. Pin and Win towards the rail. They come for the wire. It's Green Diamond Cat to take it. Pin and Win was second. 7 lengths. Back to 8 cents. And then the pace setter.
20,000, that pick 6 carryover. Nobody alive going into the nightcap. Race number 9 proved to be the second win today for Jose Ortiz. Good to see Jeremiah Engelhart with the winner off the claim. And that'll do it for Thursday's 9-race program. As we get on to the rider standings, Mig, with another card down. Third Thursday already. Day number 12 with the Seal Main Track. Prior to training here tomorrow, Jose Lezcano, man of the day, 3 wins and counting.
3 wins, and you know it's just a matter of time before Jose Lezcano starts getting untracked. He's too good a rider not to be up there in the rider standings, and he will be. Irad Ortiz leads the standings, was handed a 10-day suspension. Haven't heard whether he's appealed those days or not, but that was for the incident yesterday where he was not disqualified.
Quiet day for leading trainer Chad Brown. Only ran 2 as Kitten's Joy Maiden ran well in race number 5, finished second. Todd Pletcher's got a number of horses Friday and Saturday, but not in the Preakness down in Pimlico.
Now, Todd seems to always step out of the Preakness. We may not see a Todd Pletcher horse back in the Preakness until he wins the Derby with one, because then you're kind of obligated to go, right?
Right.
But Preakness, a nice race in its own right.
Indeed it is. 8 horses, post time right around 6:20 p.m. on Saturday, and a few claims on the afternoon. And speaking of Todd Pletcher, one of his main clients, Rapoli Stable, took one with Bruce Levine out of race 6.
Yeah, Mike kind of spreads it around a little bit. Bruce, Todd, even a little Mike Maselli, but a lot of couple of shakes today, and we've seen a lot of action at the claim box. Today was a little bit more expensive day. Yesterday was a little bit of the bargain day.
We water things on that clubhouse tour, and look at that shot in the background, and we've got a Friday preview with the carryover coming up. Back here at Belmont Park, empty stalls in the paddock. They will be filled to capacity tomorrow afternoon, and the first of 9 races kicks off at 1:20 p.m., $20,000 plus in that pick 6 carryover. The MiG, Jason, starts studying up for that carryover, and we'll try to come up with a single or 2 in the sequence as we go to Friday's 8th race. It's a 6-furlong allowance event on the turf. Adventure Love coming back off a race in Saratoga.
Yeah, this is one of Frankie Dettori's wins in Saratoga last year. Fun to watch him do those flying dismounts in the winner's circle. This is a very nice filly. She's got a race at Keeneland that should set her up well for this. The problem is she seems to be one-dimensional. She runs to the lead. She's going to have trouble with another horse we're going to look at in a little while that's nothing but pure speed as well. I don't see this filly being alone on the lead.
How about Distorted Beauty? She's done some nice things. New York bred has been very good for Bruce Levine.
Yeah, and she's coming off the layoff. We saw horses successful today coming off the layoff that normally run longer, but being fresh, they were able to get in the game earlier, and she's going to get pace to run at. She shows speed going longer, but she will get out-footed sprinting.
Here is that filly, the fleet-footed state-bred, hard to stay, not go. Look at the snow and snow fences on the turf over at the Big A. She has this Franklin Square at her mercy. More than ready filly on the grass tomorrow.
Yeah, and a filly that wants to go. She gets rank if they try to raid her. I think that's a mistake. It inhibits her breathing. She's had a throat procedure where she just needs to be free running. And will her and Adventure Love cancel each other out? That's the question. Now, Adventure Love is drawn outside, so if they can get her to settle and follow her, I think it helps their cause. But if she hasn't shown that ability yet, they could chew on each other.
All right, Broman Homebred going out for Jimmy Jerkins. Hard to stay, not go in her turf debut. And normally it's time for the 1 and 1A. We've only got one horse. We go alone with Andy Serling on who to look for tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, guys. Race 4 on Friday's car kicks off the pick 6. I'm going to try a horse I just think will be a decent enough price that I don't have any great angles on. I just think on pure handicapping might be a little bit better than it looks on paper. And that's the 4 Wild Finish. 7 furlongs, hopefully the right distance. Wild Finish gets a rider switch to Luis Saez for this race. I'm going to throw it his last race. The speed never came back in there. He never had a chance to make his run. His prior race looks a lot worse than it is on paper, but he faced a serious wind, an odd race. And I think Wild Finish has plenty of races recently that make him good enough to win, and his price just should be fair enough. Maybe a little good old-fashioned handicapping in race 4 on the 4 Wild Finish.
We hope that'll be a wild start to the pick 6 with Wild Finish. Andy's pick early on the Friday program, and we are nearly in the home stretch. But you mentioned the 03 Preakness and, of course, the great New York bred Funny Side at the top of the show. Let's go back to that Preakness 12 years ago beneath Jose Santos as he runs away and hides.
I mean, this was a tour de force this day. And you think about his Derby and how hard he was ridden, much like American Pharaoh, and he came back and delivered this awe-inspiring performance where he just crushed this field. Is American Pharaoh going to step forward a la Funny Side, or is he going to regress from that really hard-fought victory in the Derby? That's the question.
Major layer in a race that's already got quite a few subplots, although to this day I still feel, and I was a big Funny Side fan, Empire Maker straight up was the better racehorse. I still feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, he beat him on the square in the Wood Memorial. He had a problem going into the Derby, skipped the Preakness, and then he beat him at a distance that was better for Empire Maker, the 1.5 miles at the Belmont. But you can't take anything away from Funny Side. He's a Derby winner.
One of the greats. All right, that'll do it for the Thursday edition of Belmont Insider. Thinking about the Wood Memorial with Empire Maker and Funny Side. This is Belmont. First race post, 1:20 p.m. and study up for that pick 6 carryover.